It's that time again for another not-so-normal gaming podcast, featuring your hosts, MrTechnoSqueek.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Nostalgic Dan 1.
Everything I feel is in this sword. Good.
Come on!
And Quick Freeze 4.
Don't worry. I'll handle the bad guys.
This is a podcast you want to listen to, but first, you gotta press start.
Welcome back, guys, to episode 85 of the Press Start podcast. We're back. We're better than ever. And sorry for taking, this long. It's usually my fault, which it was.
Oh, totally agree.
But we have myself, Mr. TechnoSqueek, Nostalgic Dan 1, and Quick Freeze 4. How you guys doing?
I'm doing swell. Fantastically swell.
I am also fantastically swell.
How about you, Techno?
You guys need to come up with a different...
I don't want it.
Nothing beats fantastically swell.
Yeah, that describes everything.
I know, seriously. Like, I just found out Dan's entire week by those two words.
So?
What would you want us to say?
Fucking fantastic.
Hey,
Like,
there are children listening to this right now.
I know.
Little Timmy is now scarred.
For life.
I don't give a shit.
Whoa, you're just...
Jeez,
Yeah,
man.
dude, this is like late night, which is not really late. It's just 8:32.
That's late somewhere.
Still, dude, late night with the Press Start podcast.
The Press Start podcast wants to apologize for any offended children.
We do not condone the behavior of a Mr. Techno.
Dude, remember when we talked about doing late night episodes?
That was just going to be all the bullshit that we talked about afterwards.
Yeah.
What was it? Press Start podcast after dark. That's what you wanted.
Yeah,
to call it.
we were just like gonna record and then just not like edit it at all and just talk about random
That's
shit.
Weird shit.
Yeah.
Just so you listeners know, there's some weird shit that is discussed after and before podcasts.
And we will give you a taste right now. Actually, before this episode, we discovered that Techno wants to have sex with his phone.
That is true. That is something that was discussed. I mean, it came straight from his mouth. And pizza. He talked about sexual pizza again, but that's fine.
Yeah. So, that is a very creepy image of Techno's mind.
I'm scared.
And all of you have it now.
Yeah, well, it's nice to share anyway. So, Techno, how are you, man? I missed you. How was Christmas?
Yeah. How's the holidays, guys? It's been
Good, I guess.
What'd you get?
Ain't nothing.
Nothing? You didn't get anything at all?
Shit. Like, just shit.
You got
Like,
shit.
That's not
I got
nice.
money.
That's
Well, what'd
the
you
thing.
buy with your money?
More money?
I guess. Well, I'm saving it up for that computer I've been talking about.
Oh,
16 gigs,
Solid state?
i7. Oh yeah, solid
Oh.
state. It's gonna be fucking fantastic. There you go.
It's amazing. How's it coming along then?
I got like around $500. Gotta save up $500 more. Around $500 more.
You already know all the parts you're gonna get?
No.
Just start planning that.
Yeah.
Some price comparison.
Yeah. Because, prices on computer parts, lower and get higher, they change very rapidly.
Yeah, and also depends on the product too, if you get the best
Yeah.
performance for your money.
Yeah. I'm building my computer for the future so I don't have to
Whoa.
upgrade that, much.
You're making
in,
yourself a
next
PS4.
year. I guess.
You'll finally be able to run Pong at high graphics.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm one to be able to run every game on max settings, so I can finally play Crisis,
Super Meat Boy. Oh, why not?
Super Meat Boy on max settings,
Yes. Those glorious pixels.
and Bioshock Infinite on max settings.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
All those games are great, but not one were Pong.
Well,
Yeah, Pong will really push your computer. Like, that will test it. Man.
Seriously, dude.
Don't even
I have an old Atari, and Pong just crashes that thing. Pong is epic, dude.
Thing's a beast.
I know, right?
That's why they haven't
did
remade
you
it.
ever play the PlayStation version of Pong?
No.
Um,
On the PlayStation, they made all those, like, remakes of, like, classic games.
Yeah.
Pong.
It was all like 3D.
Yeah, Pong, Galaga,
Yep.
like Centipede and stuff.
Centipede, yeah, Space Invader.
Yeah.
Yep. I had the Centipede and Pong one. I played the shit out of Pong
That one looks fun.
because it has some, not just Pong, but just different kinds of stuff. Like you can have like 4 against each, like 2-on-2
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those games. Never had any of them.
You know, it's one game that I actually want to get is the Frogger for the PlayStation.
No, you
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know why, but I want it.
I had Frogger on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, but this is the PlayStation. It's upgraded.
Whoa.
I know, right?
Uh,
Preparing for the future. That way, so I never have to upgrade.
Oh, ha ha ha.
I'm preparing for the future too. Windows 98.
Windows 98.
512 megabytes of RAM. Too fast. Oh man.
Too furious.
Oh man. They can run Oregon Trail on max settings.
God damn it.
I miss Oregon Trail. Love Oregon Trail.
So, Dan, how was your Christmas?
It was fun. It was enjoyable because I didn't do much and I enjoyed relaxing. And I got really full and ate a lot of food. So, which is
You
perfect.
lazy ass.
Exactly. That's what you do during Christmas because then you get all stuffed on food and you're like, oh, what am I going to do now? Play video games since I don't feel like moving for like a couple hours. I got money and lots of money. Gift cards, Amazon gift cards, swag. You
Did
know,
you spend them yet?
some of it. I still have some more credit.
Mm.
Bet you, Cliva, how's your Christmas holidays?
It's pretty good. I didn't get too much. I got like 3 video games and I got a scarf.
Oh,
I like my scarf.
Oh, I'm glad to hear. Everyone
Actually-
can use a scarf.
No, I actually was really excited about the scarf. I'm like, this thing is badass.
You need it
My
where
bro-
you're at. Super
Oh
cool.
my, yeah, I know. It's been like snowing like hell like over here. It's crazy.
Yeah, what's
but,
up with that?
Yeah, I got like 3 games. I got Injustice for the Vita. So now I have 3 copies of that game.
Need more. Keep getting them. Gotta
I know,
collect
right?
them all.
I have it on the Xbox, the PS3, and now I get it on the Vita. I got Young Justice for the Xbox. It's based on the Cartoon Network cartoon.
That they don't have anymore.
Yeah, it got canceled. which is kind of why I wanted the game, so I could get so I could play it, because it's actually a pretty good cartoon. And the last thing I got is I got this huge, massive lot of Disney Infinity. I got like every single figure now.
Good. And you have the game now, right?
Yep, I do have the game. I'm only missing 3 figures, and that's only because they're not released yet.
There you go. You've been playing a lot of that?
Actually, yeah, I've been playing a fuck tons of that. So, cause, I don't know, I'll talk about in games I've been playing, but like, there's just so much to do in it. It's crazy. So, But yeah, that's all I really got. So.
What about the New Year's? You guys do anything special to celebrate New Year's?
I saw Miley Cyrus on TV in New
twerking?
York.
Yeah,
Yeah,
twerking.
twerking with like a little, I don't know, midget, little person. I was trying to be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I went over to a friend's house on New Year's. It was kind of cool. We had a party, and then we laughed at Miley Cyrus on TV.
Oh, I do that all the time.
What'd you guys do?
I didn't do much. I usually relax at home, but then I make myself good food as a treat. I had shrimp cocktail, and I love shrimp cocktails so much. Oh my god. It was hot too. So good.
Techno, what'd you do for New Year's?
I got drunk at a friend's house and went and got Taco Hell.
That sounds like yesterday. That's like every other day for you.
Taco Hell? What, is that a restaurant?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's only in Arkansas.
Yes. Normies call it Taco Bell. So.
Whoa, normies. What kind of term is that?
I know.
Is that an Arkansas thing? I've never heard that term before.
No, I just came up with it.
Oh my god, did you just invent a term? We got to patent that shit. What are you doing? You can't just go around saying it like nothing. We got to trademark that. Normies.
Normies.
That's trademark. You owe Techno like 5% royalty.
No one likes to be normal.
Why? Normal's fun.
No, it's not. It's fucking boring.
But you get to go to Taco Hell.
Yeah, and they have like cool flames and stuff when you enter the doors. How's that? How's your trip to Taco Hell, Techno?
Oh, it was fucking delicious.
What'd you get?
I got number 4 meal deal.
Oh man, is that the gross stuff?
That is...
No, what with the nacho stuff?
No, it's the 5-layer burrito.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, 5-layer burrito.
Yeah.
That's so good.
That shit is so good. And it comes with Doritos and a drink.
Oh, yeah.
Which I always get Baja Blast.
That sounds
and
like...
I got an extra 5-layer burrito.
That sounds like a heart attack waiting to happen.
Oh, yeah, that's why you go to Taco Bell.
No.
So we are not, their food on the wrapper says we are not responsible for any heart attacks. This may induce. Oh, it's like so bad. Yeah, it's so good. It's like you know it's bad when you're eating it too. It's like you feel so dirty.
But it tastes so damn good.
It feels so wrong, but you're like, oh my god, this is so good. Yeah. And you got drunk, so I'm glad to see you're a responsible adult.
I wouldn't go that far.
That makes me sad.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
Really? Are you a responsible drinker?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
I apologize to you then. I'm sorry.
Does Sonic carry you home?
No,
No.
It's Amy. It's Amy. I'm sorry. It's Amy.
No, I slept at my friend's house.
Did you draw on your face?
No,
Oh man, they missed a golden opportunity.
because everyone else went to bed.
Good times, gentlemen.
Yep.
Times.
2013 is over. We're in 2014 now, so...
Oh my god, this year sucks. It's gonna be 2015 already.
You think so? You think 2014 is going to suck?
Based off the 10 days I've known it, yes. No. It'd be awesome.
No.
I love every other year.
Well, 2013 had a whole bunch of cool games.
Yeah. Pong
Yeah.
is one of them. Pong
Huh?
Remastered.
No, not Pong Remastered.
Oh.
That was 2012.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was like December 2000.
Techno knows the date, yeah.
Sorry.
No, but like, what are some of your favorite games in like 2013, you guys? I know you guys played a lot.
Yes.
Techno.
What?
Name it. Well,
Okay.
I asked you a question.
I'll I'll start out with one that some people will be like, ugh. And I don't know why. But the game is DMC Devil May Cry. Now, I know a lot of people bitch at this game, and the only reason is because the way Dante looks. He doesn't look like the original, character. But, it's not from Capcom. It's made by Ninja Theory, I believe. And, yeah, he cusses a little bit more, but who gives a shit? I don't care, because I play Devil May Cry games for the gameplay. I could care less what he looks like. He can be a fat ass. I'd still play it if the gameplay was good. So yeah, Devil May Cry. It's a good game.
It's a good one. It's a good point. It seems like, yeah, that was kind of weird that people kind of, bash that game when it came out just because, it doesn't look like old Dante with the white hair and all that. It's like, if it's still fun, then what does it matter?
And I laugh because they did the, at the start of the game, there's this cutscene where this, this white mop comes and, gets on his head, and it looks like, original Dante hair, and I laughed because I knew that would piss people off. So, yeah. Another game that I'm almost done with, actually. Castlevania Lords of Shadow Mirrors of Fate.
Yeah, I love this game.
I fucking love this game
I'm
so
with you,
much.
dude.
I played the first Lords of Shadow game. It was alright, and people started hating on it. I don't know why, really, but if you don't know what Castlevania Lords of Shadow is, it's a whole different storyline. It's not in the original storyline because the characters are a bit different, and I can't really say because it would just spoil parts of the story. So yeah, just play the damn games. It's good.
Yeah, that game was weird when it came out, because they released a demo on the 3DS, and I have a friend that he's huge into Castlevania, and I'm not really into Castlevania all that much, but I love the demo, and he hated the demo, and my main concern with Lords of Shadow Mirrors of Fate is I thought it was going to be one of those games where it's going to be Metroidvania, where I'm going to get constantly lost, not sure where to go, and surprisingly, it was kind of straightforward. I always knew where to go. I always knew where, what I had to do. So, I really, really enjoyed that game because basically I didn't get lost in the entire game. I really enjoyed it. So, I don't know, if people who like Castlevania and you're kind of on the fence about this game, I would say give it a try. It's not a bad game at all. So I really liked it. I like the cel shaded animation in that game too. I don't know what you think about it, Techno, but I loved it.
Yeah. Whenever I first heard Simon's voice, at first I was like, what the fuck? But after I, played it more, I got used to it, so.
Did you play the demo?
Yes, I did play on the 3DS, yeah. And then I was going to get it for the 3DS, but then, I didn't have the money at the time, and I, waited for, forever, and then they're like, hey, we're releasing the HD version on PS3 and 360. I was like, I'll just get that then.
Oh, really? They made Mirrors of Fate on the 360?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay. That's cool. No, but I love the demo, but I know a lot of people like hated the demo for the PS3. Yeah, I thought it was a really good game. So.
Yeah. Alright. I know people don't like this game, but I fucking love it because I love the series. BioShock Infinite. When I first played it, I was blown away whenever you get up in the sky, and it almost, as I was so surprised, as almost as much as the first game. The first game just like blew me away, and but BioShock Infinite did that to me too, and it had some. What I like about this game is it had, if you at the first of the game, you have to do there's this like racist like thing that like this dude gives you a ball, like baseball, and these two this like white dude with this black girl come out on the stage, and he's like hit him or something. Because they're like dating, and the whole racist thing. You can choose to either hit them or hit the other dude that told you to. So, and I think, that in my opinion, there shouldn't be anything that's taboo that should be able to be in games, like sex, racism, just, anything. But, yeah, I love the game. The powers, yeah, I know, you can only hold, like, 2 guns, but the whole Elizabeth thing was really cool, in my opinion, and, yeah. BioShock Infinite. Play it.
It's a good one. I still need to play that.
Yeah, me too.
I love the original BioShock, and it's one of those things, like, I feel like the game was really praised when it came out, and I feel like the longer it was out, the more people began to become mixed on it. I think that was partly due because I think in the first place, it takes a special game to cause, such a split decision, and it takes a special game to kind of stir a big controversy and stuff like that, but it's just the way they tell it. You got to be used to it. And it takes a special game to get people engaged and really deeply talking about a game like BioShock Infinite did. So, that's a good one. Definitely need to pick that up.
And there's 2 games that have already been released way before, but got on to the 3DS eShop. And that is The Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Ages and Seasons. Now, I never played Seasons back on the Game Boy Color. I got Ages and played the shit out of that game. That is my favorite Zelda game of all time. Bar none. Just of how much I've played it, and I'm beating it several times. But they had this like deal thing. I think it was like $5 for both or something. I'm not for sure. Whenever they first released it on 3DS, I bought them both. And see, the story is you're supposed to play Seasons first and then Ages, because in Seasons you get your sword, and I mean you can play either one first, but yeah, I'm just kind of weird like that. But yeah, all I have to say is they're both great games. You should play them if you're into Zelda at all. And yeah.
those are the only few Zelda games I haven't played. I'm like Dungeon 6 in Seasons, and like I just can't beat it.
Yeah, Seasons is more action-based, and Ages is puzzle-based. So, last one, I actually played this, like, last week, I think, last weekend, Metal Gear Solid: The Legacy Collection. And it's pretty much all the good Metal Gear Solid games, or Metal Gear Solid, or Metal Gear games, and I mean, it's good. If you like Metal Gear, you need to buy it. That's it. It's good.
Yes, sir. I'll take your word for it, Techno.
One that I want to talk about is Dan. You play this one is Ni no Kuni.
No, yes.
Remember
Yes.
remember the hoopla, like all the trouble that thing caused when that thing came out.
The goddamn Wizards edition.
Yeah, seriously. You got the Wizard edition, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I pre-ordered that shit right away. I was
Yeah,
gonna cause an uproar if I didn't get mine, because I pre-ordered mine super early.
Yeah, well, it's funny. Like at first, I didn't want the Wizard edition, and like it was actually Holly Dog My Limbs that kind of convinced me to get it, and I'm really glad that she did. But yeah, that game was awesome. Like it was basically just the animation that just blew me away, but what really like sunk me in was the like just. I don't know, it was like the characters. I really liked the characters in that game. And then, like, it was like the only game, like, where I wanted to do, like, everything in this game. Like, I wanted to do every side quest, get every familiar. You know, I just wanted to go all out in that game. Like, and, like, I don't want to really talk about it because, like, I don't want to give any of it. It's so good that I don't want to give it away. But I don't know. Well, like, what do you thought about it, Dan?
I thought it was a fantastic game that reminded me of a lot of other RPGs. Like, it feels like there's some tales of inspiration there with the overworld mechanics and partially some of the influence from the battle system. But then you still have your traditional stuff like turn-based, and I think the story is it's a lighthearted tale, and that's what I love about it. It's so heartwarming. Just the concept of it that, like, it's like I don't even want to spoil the beginning about what happens, but it's like...
Yeah, I know, right?
It causes it's just interesting how you get teleported between these parallel worlds and why you have to kind of go back and forth between them. But it's this concept of having, like, these people who you come in contact with along the way have, like, broken hearts, as they call it. And I thought that was just an interesting mechanic. I was like, wow, that's such a novel mechanic. But you have to help these people get pieces back from, like, you know, attributes that they're missing because they're not acting normal and stuff like that. And to do that, sometimes you have to kind of, like, find your soulmates, as they call it, because there's someone in, like, the opposite world who's, like, the exact same as them. But it's just so much. Like, there's so much to it. The cast of characters is wonderful. The art style and art direction is wonderful. The soundtrack's amazing because it's all orchestrated by Tokyo Philharmonics. It's just a wonderful game. I think fans of RPGs should totally play it. Any other games, Cliva?
Yeah, well, I got a whole list of them here, but I'm not trying to figure which one to talk about next. I played Dead Space 3. Now, this one, I honestly didn't like this one as much as 2. I think 2 is the best in the trilogy, but I still think Dead Space 3 was a pretty good game in its own right, but, it was a good way to, like, wrap up the trilogy, I think. But it was kind of underwhelming because it didn't really perform as well as 2, because 2 it was very claustrophobic. You were in the space station. You were very just trapped inside the space station. 3, you were like in the open. It was bright, sunny. It was, you know, you had a lot of area to run around in, but like And I think that's honestly what kind of like killed the game. See, I don't want to say killed because it was still a good game, but it just didn't live up to what Dead Space 2 was. And then like the other thing that like really kind of got to me about Dead Space 3 was is the small microtransactions that they put in the game. And it just like killed me because every time I wanted to upgrade my gun or anything in the game, it was right there. Like it was like it urges you to like do these microtransactions and you can play through the entire game without doing a single microtransaction, but like the fact that they were just right there staring you in the face, it like kind of irked me a little bit. But I don't know. Dead Space 3 was a good game. I really did enjoy it. It kind of got a little dragged on near the end of it. It kind of just, I don't know. It was a good game, but it was not as great as Dead Space 2. I think Dead Space 2 was the crowning achievement in that trilogy. I really do. So have you guys ever played the Dead Space series at all?
No.
I played the first one.
That's it? You did
Yeah.
you? And you didn't like it? You didn't like it enough to continue?
I liked it, but I'll probably get Dead Space 2 whenever it goes on sale on Steam.
Yeah, but I don't know. I really enjoyed Dead Space 3, but it just wasn't really as good. But another one that came out too is God of War Ascension. And this one, I don't know, like, again, it didn't really live up. I thought God of War 3 was probably better in a way. But Ascension was like, it was like a prequel to like everything. And it was actually kind of cool how like Kratos got like set up for like God of War 1. So have you guys ever played in the God of War series at all?
Nope.
Yes, I think I played 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. Well, did you enjoy them enough to like play more of them?
I didn't. After 3, I got tired of it.
Mm. Well, what like God of War Ascension is, it was basically like the way they did it. It was kind of like a story within a story, like because how the game sets out, like Kratos is being held captive by these bird-like creatures, right? And you play for a little bit, and then he gets to like maybe like this huge boss-like character, and then he remembers how he got there. So basically, throughout the entire game, you're playing through like a flashback of the prequel to the like God of War 1, which is like, it sounds complicated, but it kind of makes sense as you play. And what the entire game, it's focused around like a lot of different things, but the main thing is focused around this ability to like maybe kind of like shift time to make things like decay or like, you know, to restore something. And I think they've done this also in God of War 2. I think that was one of the elements in it, but I don't know. I didn't really mind it as much. There was a few puzzles that kind of like irked me a little bit, you know, kind of pissed me off because just I couldn't figure them out. But I don't know. I say if you like God of War and you haven't tried God of War Ascension, you should probably try it out. I didn't even play the multiplayer. I totally was not even interested in the multiplayer in this game. I still don't know why companies feel the need to tack on multiplayer to games that are obviously better as like one-player experiences. I really don't know why. But I don't know, like, Dan, like, what are some of your games? I don't want to keep talking, but.
Oh, okay. Definitely, I have quite a few for the 3DS, but I'll name off 3 really good RPGs for the 3DS. One's Fire Emblem Awakening. It's a strategy RPG by a company at Nintendo, an in-house company. And this is a series that I've always been meaning to give a shot. And I was like, oh, you know, Fire Emblem on 3DS, so it looked interesting. I'll definitely check that out. And I bought it like a couple months after it came out. you know, totally still not expecting too much, but I kind of knew I'd like it because I'm a big fan of strategy RPGs that are straightforward. Like, I absolutely hate gimmicks in my strategy RPGs, and, you know, because there's some series, like, I'm thinking of Disgaea and stuff like that, where they just tack on ridiculous amounts of gimmicks, but it's a great quality strategy RPG. It's tried and true. You just move around units. You have different classes, and then different classes that are more effective against other enemy units and stuff like that. Just everything about it, though, like the map layouts are fantastic because they allow for a lot of strategies, like some actual legit strategies, like flanking and stuff like that. Like, based off how you move units, you can actually make it really easy for yourself or really hard, depending on which units you choose to move. Like, so there's a whole lot to it. There's a permadeath if that's your thing, but if permadeath isn't your thing, there's also an option for casual mode, which you don't lose any characters. But the best part of it was just the goddamn relationship building was so much fun. Like, it was just their dialogue with one another, and like how much dialogue is there based off how close units are, because as you link up units on the battlefield, they'll build like kind of relationship points, and they'll get closer and get to know the other person really well. So you go to like the barracks, and then it'll be like new conversations with people. Like, that always kept me hooked. That kept me wanting to see like new stuff every day. And then there's things like, you know, oh, it was so-and-so's birthday today and all that. So like I'll go into the barracks and be like, oh, it was her birthday or something. Like, it's just really well crafted and really well thought out. It's a lengthy game. There's tons of side stuff to do later on, and it's just a really tried and true quality SRPG with some fantastic music. So highly recommend that one. And for fans of Shin Megami Tensei, there are two great games for the 3DS. First one is Shin Megami Tensei 4, which is a sequel to the core series. So the third one is actually on the PS2, and that's called Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, and that was theoretically the third one, and this is kind of a follow-up. And actually, this game kind of correlates back to Nocturne in some ways, but it's a very challenging game. It's a very challenging RPG. Like, it'll probably frustrate a lot of people, and I think that's kind of what it's about. Like, the core series of Shin Megami Tensei has never been forgiving. They like to punish you. They like to have some really technical boss fights, and the boss fights usually come down to having like the proper team and the proper team of demons and the best skills and knowing their strengths and weaknesses. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. I absolutely love fusing demons, though. I always like to consider Shin Megami Tensei like an adult version of Pokemon or something. It's like, you can have your Pikachu and stuff like that, but I can have like Loki or Thor. You know, I can have like actual gods on my team in Shin Megami Tensei, and I always loved that. That was because I'm a huge fan of mythology. Like, just I used to be a little bit of a history buff, and I love mythology in my games, and Shin Megami Tensei has plenty of that. The story is super mature, and there's some disturbing stuff later on, and some really like twisted shit later on. But it's a very challenging game. It's kind of like traditional. You explore dungeons and fight monsters and stuff like that. But yeah, just go into it expecting a very challenging game, and it starts slow too. I actually don't think the game starts officially until like the 12-hour mark. So, because the first part of the game, so you spend this first part of the game in like this one area predominantly, but then there's like a big twist in the game which kind of sets the game forward and starts, because it becomes super huge, and like you're gonna spend a lot more time in this place. And the other one is really weird game that is actually 15 years old, and we finally got it released in the West and translated, and that is Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoners Soul Hackers. It's a first-person dungeon crawler, super old school, but the story's fantastic. It's like cyberpunk and cyber demons and hacking, and this weird idea that you can talk to people in like this MMO kind of RPG, and inside the game, like there's an MMO RPG that's popular inside the game that you go into with your avatar and stuff like that, and talk to other people's avatars. It's just like, it's a weird game. Like, it's a refreshing RPG, and you probably have not played a game quite like it. It's very old school though, so expect that. It's got a lot of old school kind of cliches to it, and it's kind of challenging. So, but it's a super enjoyable game. So I really like it. Those are definitely good games for fans of the series. I don't think they're good beginner RPGs, or they're not good starting points if you're kind of new to the series, but I think for fans of the series, they'll appreciate them. But those are just some. Back to you, Cliva.
Yeah, I played that Fire Emblem game. I fucking bitch. I played on the well, what's the mode called where there was permadeath?
It's just regular
Was
mode.
it regular, classic, whatever?
Yeah, classic.
That's the mode I played on, and it always pissed me off when I was like my character died, because like I just hated it. Like I would move my character like two squares ahead, and like someone on the other team would like come across the entire freaking board and just one shot kill my dude. Piss me the hell off, dude. I must have resetted my game like so many times because I didn't want anyone to die. But then like I just said like I think near the end, like maybe the last 4 or 5 battles near the end of the game, I just said fuck it, whoever dies dies. And but you're right. There's like those key characters that were like you get so involved with, and you don't want them to die because you actually like. I don't know, you have a kind of like emotional attachment to each one of those guys, and I had my core guys. Like, I think there was at least like 8 guys that like, no matter what, these 8 or 9 guys, these are not dying. Anyone else could die, I don't give a shit. And it got to the point where like near the end of the game, is I would always pick, I just call them throwaway characters, and I would put at least 3 of them on my team, and I would put them in locations that would kind of like bait the enemy to go after them. That way I could take my core team, my real team, and just swarm and kill the enemy as they come and kill the throwaway characters. I use that tactic a lot near the end of that game. And yeah, that game was fucking fantastic. People are still playing that game too. There's so much involved in that game.
Yeah, well, they keep adding DLC, and it's like the DLC is free. It's like you can do new playable quests or play against classic Fire Emblem characters and fight them and recruit them. Like, this feels like a game that just doesn't want to end. And that's awesome.
Yeah, that game was, oh god, yeah, Fire Emblem was so good. But another strategy RPG and you played this one. I don't know if you finished it. Was Project X Zone.
Yeah, I never finished it.
Oh my god, that game was ridiculously fucking long, man. I remember coming home after work and I'm like, alright, I'm gonna do 1 or 2 missions. And those 1 or 2 missions turned out to be like maybe like 4.5 hours long. I'm like, fuck, dude, these missions are so goddamn complicated. And you know why they were long and drawn out is because, especially in like the later missions, you would kill all the guys. That would be your mission to complete that level. Is like defeat all the enemies, and you would get down to like 2 enemies left, and then you'll have like some sort of cutscene, and they'll be like ha 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 ha, like and like this random bad guy will just come in with his army. So now you get like an additional 30 dudes you gotta fight again. And so like, dude, how many guys are gonna keep coming in the same mission? And yeah, the missions are like long and drawn out, and it sounds like I kind of hate the game, but no, I actually really do like this game. And the combat in this game, at first I was just button mashing. I didn't know how to fucking do the combat system in this game, but as you play it, you learn how the combat is really supposed to work, because there's kind of like this like juggling system for the combat, where you got to keep your enemy in the air. If you keep him, the longer you keep him in the air, the more damage you can do to your opponent. But if you let them hit the ground, then the battle could end. So, for example, to do like keep him there, you got to hit like maybe right and X, and then as they're about to hit the ground, you hit up and X, and left and X, like down and X, and then X, and then if you hit all the commands correctly, it rewarded you with like maybe like a bonus hit, so you could hit like down and X again. You could keep juggling him, and as you do more combos, you raise this meter at the bottom of the screen, which is kind of like your ultra attack. I forget what they actually called it, but it was kind of like an ultra attack where you just deal out with like massive amounts of damage. So anyone who decides to pick up Project Cross Zone and they don't really understand the combat system, look at the bottom of the screen, and it tells you like what your combos you can do. You can press like up and X and down and X and right and X, like I've already explained. So, but I don't know if you remember doing the story in this game. Do you remember the story at all?
I'm gonna stop giving a shit because it was just a haphazard way to. It was a haphazard way to explain why. Oh, this is why all these characters are coming together. And it's like I really don't give a shit.
Yeah, really. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. The story was completely throwaway. You could throw the whole story away. It was just like, because like one mission you would be in like a starship, and then the next mission you would get teleported to like a giant cherry blossom tree, and then the next level you get teleported to a mansion, and like the reason they would explain is because like, oh, we got sucked through a gate, oh, we unlocked this door and it ended up here. Like they were trying to like tell the story where like all these different worlds were connecting, but it wasn't really, I don't know, implemented very well. So if you're going to play this game, you're going to play the game because you like the combat and you like the different characters, and there's tons and tons of different characters in Project Cross Zone, and you're going to learn them all. There's a lot of characters that I kind of fell in love with, and it made me go out and try to figure out what game they were from, and I was like just amazed because like I would find out like this character is from like rival schools, and I'm like, oh really? I know that game, but I didn't know the characters, so it was kind of neat to play that game. But just remember, anyone who plays this game is ridiculously fucking long, and like it must have been like a, I don't know, like a 60 to 80 hour game. There's like 42 missions in the entire game, and it's just, fuck, crazy long. But yeah, do you know where you stopped in that game?
I stopped as soon as I got to the part where Yuri and Estelle.
Oh, you were like on mission like 12 or something. Then
it just got way too repetitive for my taste set. And then I saw the characters I was really hoping to see, Yuri and Estelle, and I was like, yeah. And I think another game came out, like, I think it was probably Shin Megami Tensei 4 or something, and I got lost in that. Because the Shin Megami Tensei 4 is no short RPG either. That's like a 60-hour RPG. So I was all about that. But it was fun. I enjoyed what I played of it. I thought the music was really great. I just thought it was funny how they tried with the story, but I do like that, like you were mentioning it, where it's like sometimes I didn't quite know the characters, and I was like, who are these characters? And it had me like questioning, I'm like, oh, I want to do research on these characters and find out where the hell they're from and all that. That was fun.
Yeah, I enjoy that game, but there were moments where it like pissed me off. It's a hard game though. But what's another game that came out? There's a lot of superhero games that came out this year. Batman Arkham Origins came out this year, and Deadpool came out this year. You guys played those?
No, but I'm interested in Deadpool, actually.
Yeah, I'm very interested in Deadpool.
The thing about Deadpool is that game is crazy, crazy hilarious. Like,
yeah, that's why it's like,
yeah,
I watch people stream it and I just laugh my ass off.
The game itself, it's not a very good game. It's actually the combat, the controls are kind of like, they're not broken, but they're not really implemented very well. But it's the comedy that's gonna keep you in this game. But like basically once you beat the game, it's like there's really no reason to go back and do any more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very short game, but you're gonna play it for the comedy. So you probably get it cheap now too, right? Has to be like $20 or something at this point.
Oh yeah, I've seen it super cheap.
But the other one I mentioned, Batman Arkham Origins. This game was pretty good. It wasn't made by Rocksteady at all, but I don't know. They did a pretty good job to like mimic Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, but I think this game, I didn't really like this game as much because I think it's like the worst in the trilogy. And I'm not saying it's a very bad game at all. I think it's just not a very good game compared to the other two, is because the other two used up all like the major villains. Like, you know, they used Riddler, they used Killer Croc, they used Catwoman, so it kind of like left Arkham Origins, which is a prequel to the other two games. Arkham Origins, you had enemies like Lady Copperhead, you had Firefly, you had Black Mask, which are good villains in their own right, but they're not really, they're like C-rank villains, you know, like you don't really hear about them that much in comic books. And like the Riddler was in the game, but he wasn't referred to as the Riddler because he didn't really like take up that persona. So I'm like, he was in there, but it's just like, oh yeah, well you're not calling yourself Riddler, so I don't really give a shit. But Joker was in the game, so that was kind of neat, but it wasn't voiced by Mark Hamill. So I'm just like, but he was still very cool. He still kind of like took the show in that game, in my opinion. Techno, did you play the Batman game?
No, it's not yet.
Do you wanna?
Well, yeah.
Okay. It's a good game, but like I said, I don't think it's the best in the trilogy.
The one I'm really wanting to see or play is Blackgate.
Oh, the one. Which one, for the Vita or the 3DS?
Either.
I think I just heard they're doing an HD version of that game.
Yep. That's probably what I'm going to get. Is probably just download it on PS3.
I think I might get it on the Vita if I do get it.
Yeah.
So
probably looks really good on the Vita.
I kind of hope so, because like I don't know, I don't think it'll look very good on the 3DS, but and I need more games for my Vita. So, you guys have any other games that you kind of enjoyed in 2013?
Yes.
What? Which
Tales
one?
of Exilia. Tales of
Yeah.
Exilia. Ooh, yeah. You know, it's really good though. If you're a fan of the series, it's another really good installment in the series. I think it's a good one in the series to start with if you never played a Tales of game. Main reason is because it's one of the shorter games in the series. It's only about like 30 hours long, but the cast of characters is actually really, really good in that game. You have two main characters you can choose from. So, and based off who you choose, at certain parts in the story, they'll kind of find ways to, you know, get separated somehow or something. And then it's determined, what you experience is determined based off who you are. So like you experience a whole new part of the story and honestly a whole new like dungeon or something just because you picked this character, and then you'll have to like play through it again to pick the other character to see what happened at that point when they got separated. So there's really interesting stuff like that. The writing's a hell of a lot better. I think it's some of the much more improved writing in that. So some of the funniest fucking skits, you know, like if you play Tales of games, there's like these little things what they call skits, where it's these little boxes that pop up with all the characters and all that, and they'll have like conversations with each other, and that's a way to kind of like develop the characters even more for you to kind of, you know, show them as regular people who talk about normal stuff and stuff like that, which is fantastic. But I think it's called, look it up, it's where, I think Game Trailers has a video on it or something, but it's called Bazongers or something, and it's like a skit about boobs or something that they do, and it's fucking hilarious. It's like one of the most funniest skits I've ever seen, but that was really well done. It's just like hilarious, it's fun, the action and the battle system is more like Tales of Vesperia, so, you know, Graces kind of had like a unique battle system that was a little bit different. They changed things up, but then they kind of reverted that back to kind of traditional Tales of. It's action-based. You know, you have your kind of mystic arts and skill arts that you can pull off. And in this battle system, one of the new additions is that you can link up to characters, so you can have like a partner character, and you can do special moves based off your partner moves and how they're aligned on the battlefield. So that's really interesting. I think it's just a really good RPG all around. I think it's a much more engaging story. Much more straightforward story, but it's a pretty epic story, and it's a lot more action-packed. I think it's one of the more action-packed games in the series, so I think if you're a fan of the series, it's worth checking out, and I think it's actually, because of how short it is, and the fact that it still has everything a traditional Tales of game would have, is a good starting point for the series as well. Another one I liked is, mainly because I'm a big fan of Suda51, and this game also, Jesus Christ, this game got mixed reviews like you wouldn't believe. Some people really love the game. Some people absolutely fucking hate the game. And it's like you're either one or the other. It's really hard to be in between with it. But you just got to know Suda51. You know, like you got to look up his games. You got to know how he makes games and like the kind of games he makes, right? Because if you understand what you're getting into, I think you'll be more either understand if you're gonna enjoy it or if you're gonna hate it or something. But that's Killer is Dead, and man, I fucking love Killer is Dead. It was weird too because I'll be honest, when I first started playing the game, I was kind of worried. I was like, oh man, the combat's kind of not sluggish, but it was like, damn, it was fucking hard. Like the game was brutal in the beginning. Like I died, dozens of times in like the first couple of boss fights. So I'm like, damn, I feel like I'm doing something wrong or something. It's like I had to just keep pushing through. And I'm really glad I did because the game actually becomes much more playable the more you play it. Because once you start getting upgrades, it becomes immensely more playable and enjoyable because you'll get upgrades which will power up your strength, power up your sub-weapons and stuff like that, or the ability to heal or like auto-recover and stuff. It's really over-the-top action game. If you know Suda51, you don't play it for the story because the story makes absolutely no fucking sense. It's all over the fucking place, but it's a story that's built on Japanese anime because Gochi Suda is a fucking huge fan of anime and like old school anime. So there's tons of references to like old school anime cliches and stuff like that. Japanese cliches, just cliches in general. And it's like there's a fucking unicorn in the game. Like that's the thing. It's like just to give you an idea, like there's just random fucking shit in this game. It's all over the place. There's gigolo missions where you have to like go with these girls and kind of like ogle them to get like weapons and stuff like that, but it becomes funny because it's just so fucking weird and awkward and you buy them gifts. There's a lot there, but the actual gameplay of it is just like a hack and slash game. It's, like a traditional hack and slash. It's a little bit more like, don't expect like Bayonetta or something. It's like not that frantic, but it's precise. You have like combos, not too many combos, not like Lollipop Chainsaw or something, which was like another Suda51 game, which had a little bit more depth in the combo system. This game not so much, but it's more about kind of like traditional sword fighting in a way where you just got to know when to dodge your enemy, when to dodge and what way to dodge, because that could be huge. And if you dodge properly, it has the bonus of being able to get in like a shit ton of strikes by mashing the button and all that. So there's bonuses of that, and I think once you learn how to really play the game, it becomes so much fun. Like it was just so much frantically good action, and I got really, really good at the game towards the end, to the point where like I was really confident I could do a lot of the missions without taking damage or stuff like that. And it has like execution moves, which are like one-hit kills by using blood. Look it up. You have to do research. There's a lot in the game, context-wise, and there's a lot there. It's just too much to talk about. But if you're looking for a weird, surreal, experimentalist, just absolutely batshit absurd kind of action game, Killer's Dead is definitely that. I played through the whole game and did like the extra stuff, and I still have no fucking clue what happened in the game. I was like, I still don't understand the story, but it was fun, enjoyable. There's some really weird bosses too, but yeah, the art style is incredible too. So, yeah.
That almost sounds like the Ninja Gaiden games for the Xbox. Is there anything like them?
I don't know. I never played this.
Oh, okay. Well, they're kind of like the hack and slash, like crazy fighting all around. You gotta dodge it. Okay,
Yeah.
Dodge your enemies and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I played them. So there's not too many other games that I have on my list that I kind of enjoyed in 2013. But the one I do want to talk about, and it's probably like on everyone's like game of the year list, and that's The Last of Us. Did you guys play this one at all?
Oh, still
No.
Well, this one I really liked, and I'm just gonna say it right now. Like the best thing about this game is the characters, and mainly the characters, but also the graphics. This game is just, I don't know, like you care about the characters in this game. You care about Ellie. You care about I forget his name right now, but like the older gentleman that you play. That's gonna bug me for the rest of the podcast, is we're trying to remember his name. But yeah, you fall in love with the characters. You actually care what happens to them, and like I already said, the graphics also blow you away. There was one scene, and this is not a spoiler. Well, shit, it might be it's not a story spoiler, but it's like the scenery that I want to tell you about. It was so great that like I don't want to ruin it for you. But you know what? I'm just gonna say there's a lot of visuals in the game that are just like where you just want to like put the controller down and just like look at the amazing detail that they put in the universe. And oh god, I really want to talk about that scene too, but I don't want to give it away. But yeah, I'm pretty sure like a lot of people played The Last of Us. It's down to its core. It's kind of like a survival horror zombie game, but really it's more than that. It's creative. It's you're sneaking around, kind of like old Metal Gear Solid and stuff, or you can go balls to the wall and, you know, kind of fight your way through enemies, which I don't really recommend because there are some enemies that will detect you by sound, and like the slightest sound will encourage them to attack and you die instantly. But I don't know, if you guys haven't played The Last of Us, which I'm sure like the majority of people have, but whoever hasn't, just please play The Last of Us. And the soundtrack is just as good as the graphics in the game. I don't know, like, I can't really say anything bad about this game, really, so. But, I have other games that I kind of want to mention. I don't want to talk about them, but I'm just going to do kind of like honorable mentions. I just want to just go down this list. But, see, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon came out. Injustice, as I already said, amazing fighting game for superhero fans. Link Between Worlds, some people are saying this is their game of the year. Link Between Worlds was a good game. I don't think for me, it's in my top 5 Zelda games, it really is, but I still think Ocarina of Time is still like the best Zelda game ever made, but that's a matter of opinion. Disney Infinity, which I will talk about in games I've been playing. And the last one I want to give a shout out is to Pokemon X and Y. Great game. I still think Pokemon Leaf Green and Pearl are my 2 favorite games, but X and Y were still good in their own right. What makes X and Y so special, in my opinion, is the ability to play trade battle like anywhere at any time. You don't have to go to a special Pokemon Center into like a special room upstairs in that Pokemon Center to battle and trade. You could literally like be in the middle of the forest, and if your friend's online, you know, you just say, hey, you want to battle a trade, and you could do it right there. You don't have to go to any Pokemon Center, which was a huge pain in the ass in the old Pokemon games. So I don't know, those are like my just few honorable mentions, I want to say. So yeah, 2013 was a good year for me.
Yeah, I have a couple more kind of similar thing, honorable mentions. But one last game that's really good if you're a fan of the series and a fan of action RPGs, and that's Ys Memories of Celceta. It is a really goddamn good action RPG. I think it's one of my favorite games in the series, and it's a reimagining of Ys 4, which there's actually 2 versions prior to this one of Ys 4. And it follows Adol Kristen, and he kind of has like amnesia, and he has to chart this uncharted, you know, mysterious forest, which is just gigantic. But then later on in the game, something happens, and the story kind of takes twists where it kind of shifts away from the forest. But it's just really interesting world. The characters are super likable. A lot more text. It's super text heavy. There's a lot more dialogue in this game. Honestly, probably one of the longer Ys games, and I think that's just because the series is starting to evolve into kind of a more traditional modern-day RPG, because a lot of the other Ys games were pretty short, and even the remakes of them, and that was just because, you know, they're remaking old games and old RPGs, which in the first place weren't too long, you know, so it's like they updated them, but they didn't add too much content-wise, so like they kept it really straightforward, traditional, and as a result, the kind of shortness of the old games kind of reflected in the new games. Whereas now it seems like they're starting to take a lot more liberties with the story and expanding upon it and making like a much bigger game that feels like a much more complete RPG all around. So it's really, really enjoyable. The combat is super fun in this game too. I totally recommend it. And then some honorable mentions. Cliva mentioned one of them, Project Cross Zone. It was fun for what it is. Just go into it expecting fan service. The game, it's all about fan service and seeing your favorite characters, talking to other characters, and, you know, kind of fighting game style battle system, and some really good music. Although it's not going to win any awards for, you know, gameplay, it gets super repetitive as it kind of recycles the same formula of now there's these enemies, kill these enemies, take them out. Oh, here's a sub-boss who appears out of nowhere. Take out that sub-boss. Oh, but he's got more enemies with him. And it's like, oh no. But then they just keep rinsing and repeating that same formula. So it does get repetitive really quick. And another one that I'm not the biggest fan of the series, because like I mentioned, I prefer strategy RPGs, which are more traditional and don't have a whole lot of gimmicks. And this game has a shit ton of gimmicks, and the series is known for having tons of mechanics with it, but that's Disgaea D2 of Brighter Darkness. It's actually the Disgaea game that I played the most and kind of enjoyed the most. I played 3 and 4 previously to this, and they were okay. I didn't play too much of 3 because I didn't really care for it, and then 4 kind of, I was like, oh, it's okay, but this one I think is partly because of the characters. I thought the characters were really fun, and I thought this game in particular was a lot more easier to progress the story, whereas I feel like the other ones, in order to progress the story, they felt like they required an extensive amount of like level grinding and stuff like that. So it kind of drew the game out like excessively when it really didn't need to. Whereas this one kind of is to the point. Like you don't have to do too much grinding in between to be able to progress the story, which I like. And the Etrian Odyssey games, which came out this year, 2 of them, believe it or not. Etrian Odyssey 4 and Etrian Odyssey Untold, they're fantastic old school style dungeon crawler RPGs where you build your classes and stuff like that. But Etrian Odyssey Untold is a little bit unique because it's the first in the series to actually have like a traditional story with set characters and all that. So if you're more for the story, you would probably go for Etrian Odyssey Untold, but if you prefer your kind of traditional making your own party and stuff like that, I'd recommend Etrian Odyssey 4, but Untold also has an option where if you don't want to play with the set characters, you can play classic mode, and classic mode's like where you pick your characters and all that. Etrian Odyssey 4 has a good sense of exploration too, because you get like a kind of like sky balloon, which you can like fly around the areas and stuff like that, which is pretty fun. And that's pretty much it. So a lot of great games. Too many games. Gotta play them all.
Techno, you have any honorable mentions you want to mention?
I can't really think about any of them. So nope.
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man World.
Pac-Man World. Alright, well, you guys want to get into some news?
Yes, please.
Sure!
Let me do mine first, okay? I don't have any news. There you go.
Aww.
I felt like it was super slow. I felt like it was a super slow couple weeks, and there's nothing that really interested me personally, so I'm not going to talk about anything if it didn't interest me. So yeah, how about you guys? You guys have news.
Well, I have 2 news stories, and I know Techno has tons of them, so let me go.
Yeah, I got tons. I thought of some more.
You thought of some more? Are you just
making
these up?
No, I'm not making them up. I just, forgot
Sega Dreamcast 2 confirmed.
Yeah. Dude.
Shenmue 5 confirmed for the PS5.
Alright, well, I only have 2, so let me go first. So, the first one I got here is BioWare concept art ripped off for use in the episode of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The ABC show Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is guilty of ripping off some of Mass Effect 3's concept art to be used as a background in one of their episodes. In the episode called The Bridge, some agents are training outside a facility that looks a lot like a piece of Mass Effect art entitled Earth Alliance. BioWare developers have responded in good humor to the news that a limited edition Mass Effect 3 print was used in the episode backdrop in Marvel TV series. There's a quote here. "I eagerly await our honorary Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. badges," said by Mr. Flynn, a general manager for BioWare's Mass Effect and Dragon Age studios in Montreal, wrote on his Twitter page. There's another quote here. It says, "Wait, I didn't get into the helicarrier," responded BioWare's designer John Epler. But ABC and Marvel have remained silent about this whole matter. So, okay. I guess my other news story here is You guys ever heard of a guy called Greg Martin?
Yes.
Do you know what he's done or what happened?
He passed away.
Yep, that is right.
Yeah, I'll let you, because it's your news story.
All right. Well, an artist by the name of Greg Martin passed away, as Techno already mentioned, and Greg Martin was a fantastic artist that did a lot of video game art that we may have known. But the story was brought up on a Nintendo Age forum, which brings us sad news. This is artist Greg Martin is responsible for some of the most arcanic. I really can't speak tonight, but the most iconic box art in video game history has passed away. It doesn't really mention how he passed away, but I'll just assume natural causes. I don't know. But the former animator worked for Hanna-Barbera, where he worked on series such as The Jetsons, The Flintstones. He also contributed to later animated series such as the 1980s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Thundercats, and even Batman the Animated Series. But his most famous artwork was for video games, and his work on video games that most fondly remembered these parts are, like, his artwork was way before the concept of, like, Photoshop, so this is, like, all hand-drawn, and Martin's cover art was done all by hand, airbrushed on giant 24 by 30 inch paintings that were it usually took him like a week to get these things done, because like I said, there was no Photoshop whatsoever. But some of his work consisted of Flintstones 2, Jetsons, Bonk's Adventures, several Adventure Island games, all the early work of Sonic the Hedgehog games, and dozens of classic promotional ads and signs, as well as it ranged on other classics such from Hudson, Capcom, and Namco. So he's done a lot of video game artwork, and like, I don't know, like we've all seen, you know, like we've all seen like the cover of like Sonic the Hedgehog 2 or Sonic the Hedgehog 3. He did that, and that's actually really good artwork. So, but yeah, he passed away recently. I think in the sometime in the last 2 weeks. So, kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And I picked this. I know you already know about this, Techno, but I picked this news story because I know you like Sonic the Hedgehog, and and you know, I figured you would know, and I also know you like Batman the Animated Series. So.
Yeah. I would have liked to have gotten my Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 box signed by him, but
yeah. So, but those are my 2 news stories.
Well, I'm up. Yeah. So to start off, there was a picture of, well, to start out, Ryo Azuki, I think that's how you pronounce the name, from Shenmue, will be in the Sonic's and Sega All-Stars Racing Transformed as DLC, and I know 2 of his vehicles. His boat is the hang-on arcade cab, you know, with the bike, and it's like on a raft thing, and then on street it is the Outrun arcade, and he's, you know, just driving it. But the thing is, the license plate on the back of the Outrun arcade cabinet says Shin 3, talking about Shenmue 3. So Sega's either toying with us or actually thinking about making Shenmue 3. So,
I think it's Atlas. They're just gonna make
Yeah.
Atlas do all the work.
yeah,
Here
yeah,
you go.
probably.
Here you go.
See,
You
that's
guys
what
go.
I thought. That was the first thing I said whenever I, heard about Sega owning Atlas, or, buying Sega Sammy, buying up all the, I forget the old Atlas's parent company name, but
Index.
yeah, Index. Yeah, I was like, Atlas making Shenmue 3.
It's either that or Sega's just toying with you.
Yeah.
Sega actually doing something with old IPs?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So, hopefully. So,
Yeah.
next, Marvel's, license is pretty much expiring from everywhere, from Activision and Capcom. Meaning that you cannot download on PSN or Xbox Live Arcade, X-Men Origins Wolverine, Deadpool, which just came out recently, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Vanilla, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and Marvel 2, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And,
Didn't they also take down that X-Men arcade game?
what X-Men arcade game?
The classic one.
Oh, I'm not for sure. I would say so.
I think they did.
Yeah.
And I think a few Spider-Man games were taken down too.
Yes. I think that new one that came out.
Amazing.
Yeah, Amazing and Edge of Time maybe, and I know Webs of Shadow or whatever. Those are the only three I knew. But yeah, but the weird thing is, I don't know about Xbox Live, but the PS3 still has Marvel vs. Capcom Origins, which is the first Marvel vs. Capcom, and also it has Marvel Superheroes, the game. So I'm guessing just time will tell whenever they'll, take that off. But yeah. Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. At least I have Marvel 2 and 1 on my Dreamcast.
Well, that's pretty good. Once you download them, you own them. So
Yeah.
but the servers won't be up though, won't they? You can't play online, can you? Still?
I don't know.
Probably not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't think so.
So does this
Yeah.
mean that Capcom can't sell physical copies too of some of these games, like Marvel vs.
No,
Capcom 3?
Can.
Oh.
Can.
So it's not like Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, which is really bad, because they weren't allowed to sell that game anymore.
But yeah, I'm wondering if how back whenever they never, before they released Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on Xbox Live and PS3, how the Marvel 2 was so rare, I wouldn't say rare, but just expensive.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it was very expensive on all the consoles, it was kind of cheap on the Xbox, but not that much cheap, but PS2.
Yeah, I remember that. It used to sell for $70 or something.
Yeah. I wonder if that's going to happen again.
Take some time.
You know?
I still have Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on my Xbox Live.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I do too. I bought it whenever I first heard about it, and I was like, "Oh, it already has everyone unlocked. Good." So, yeah. So, are you ready for a new Yoshi's Island game?
Oh
Not
god. Man,
Well, I am, because you better get ready to set sail for Yoshi's New Island coming in March 14th to North America. Yeah. It's going to be good. The 3DS follow-up to the SNES game Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island has a familiar look to it, with the green Dino hero once again saddled with a baby Mario. With a baby Mario? Wouldn't it just be with baby Mario? Like, there's only one Mario.
Whoa, okay, grammar police. Jesus.
Well, I'm sorry here. Okay?
That was classic.
But yeah, I'm guessing it's gonna just be like Super Mario World 2.
I never played Yoshi's Island. Despite being a big Super Nintendo fan, I never owned it. Never played it.
It's one of the best platformers of all time.
I think that's Super Mario World, the original one.
No.
I don't want
No.
a crying baby Mario all the time.
Oh, don't suck at the game then.
Yeah, it's inevitable. There's just too much crap sometimes that you're gonna get hit. And I don't think the level design's as good, from what I've seen, in the Mario Yoshi Island. I still want to play it though.
Yeah. So, yeah, March 14th. Get ready. The game will be released retail and on the eShop. So if you like downloading and wasting space on your SD card, go ahead. So, my last news story. Archaic firmware allows hackers to crack the 3DS region lock. A new trick allows 3DS owners to negate the region lock Nintendo has installed in the handheld, assuming they haven't updated their 3DS systems and softwares in months, which, damn it, I already have. So, this hack relies on old 3DS firmware, specifically firmware revisions 4.1 to 4.5. Those firmware numbers are at least 9 months out of date. But if your 3DS does have the older software, breaking its region lock is as simple as installing a special patched launcher on a flash cartridge compatible with your 3DS firmware revision. Once you open the launcher, 3DS will be modified to accept games from other regions through a tiny cartridge. So, yeah. There you go.
It seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, and you gotta buy the cart, which is like $70 or something. That's the part that they don't tell you.
Yeah, that doesn't seem worth it.
Yeah. To be honest, there's not like a whole lot of Japanese 3DS games I would want. I can think of one, and that's just because I would want a physical copy of it because it actually came out, but it came out as a digital download.
Oh, the,
Senran Kagura Burst. Oh, God damn it, I want an actual copy of that.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about Phoenix Wright or something.
yeah,
No,
me too.
no, Big Booby Samurais, come on. Big Booby Samurais and side-scrolling action game.
Wait, there's big booby samurais?
Have you guys never heard of Senran Kagura?
No,
You
I
guys
haven't.
Do yourself a favor, don't look it up because there's breasts everywhere.
Well, that makes me want to look it up.
Yeah, you just convinced him.
If you're gonna watch it, watch the intro movie. I think it's for Senran Kagura Burst, and I don't know if they edited the English version, but it has like the girls bumping butts and stuff like that, and their clothes. The concept of the game is that like their clothes kind of get destroyed as they take damage and stuff like that. Like it's one of those games.
The greatest game I've ever heard of.
See, that's the only reason it came out. It's available now on the eShop, but I would want a physical copy of it. But
us Americans would censor that crap for no apparent reason. It was like,
probably part of
we don't want our kids to see boobs and stuff that they'll just eventually see whenever they get on the computer.
So this game is on the American eShop now, but it's only digital?
Only digital. Because...
Oh, then Techno, there you go. Go buy it.
They're not going to release it.
Yeah, but I don't want a censored version.
It's not censored. I think they left it pretty much untouched.
There you go, Techno.
It's just, there's no physical copy, and me, personally, I prefer a physical copy. And it's like $30. It's not a cheap download. It's like a $30.
Fuck that.
But Boobies Samurai.
Yeah, Boobies. Come on, Boobies.
It's like, their clothes get destroyed, and...
Yeah, Boobies.
Damn it.
Senran Kagura summed up with one word, Boobies.
Boobies.
There's like a shit ton of those games too. There's like one on the PS Vita, which I want because the Vita is region free. Then they announced like a new one, which is like, you know, big booby girls cooking and stuff like that, and like a cooking rhythm game. They're the best games ever made, people.
See, this is why I want to move to Japan.
No, it's on the Vita. You can just import that.
I just want to go to Japan like once, that way I can like raid their stores and buy all their stuff.
Boobies.
Senran Kagura Burst.
Boobies.
Game of the year.
Boobies.
Pretty much.
Lots of boobs.
What were we
See,
talking about before we distracted?
I told you that was the name of this episode.
Boobies.
Boobs.
Boobies.
That's it.
Boobies.
Boobs.
There's plenty of them.
There's plenty of them. So yeah.
So if you want your boobie fix, you can at least get something off the eShop. That's pretty good. Alright, well, that's all you news, Techno?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we don't have any questions from any of our listeners today.
What the fuck was that?
So...
What the hell? You people.
Well,
I pay good money to be
no,
on
you
the
don't.
podcast,
No. No, you don't.
and I get no freaking questions.
Don't lie, Techno. Don't lie.
I'm not lying.
You do too lie.
I pay good money to have internet.
So,
Be on-
Anyway, yes, we don't have any questions from the listeners this week, probably because we've been off for like a very long time. But,
yeah, and they all hate Techno.
but how about we just get into the games we've been playing and wrap it up? It's kind of a quick episode.
Sounds good.
Techno, what have you been playing?
Oh, wait.
Shenmue.
Instagram. No, let me get your Instagram ready.
Oh, okay. Let me check his Instagram.
Okay. Well, Shenmue is one. Was playing that recently today. I played some Punisher.
Which I'm super jealous about.
Dude, just download it.
No, I want the physical copy.
Yeah, because there's totally a physical copy, except for if you want the actual arcade board.
That's what I want. Like, I love this game. I really do like that game.
But, also played, Ninja Baseball Batman.
Really?
With my friend. We beat it. And then we also played, well, before we played Ninja Baseball Batman, which, if you've never played it, download MAME and play this game. It's so fun. It's wacky. It's great. But before that, we played and finished Sunset Riders. I've beaten this game millions of times. I love this game to death. If you've never heard of it, it's you're like cowboys and stuff, and you just shoot people. It's like a beat 'em up, but with guns. So it's kind of like a shoot 'em up. Get it? Ah! Oh, I cracked myself up. What else? Mark of the Ninja on Steam. That game is amazing. I still haven't beat it yet. I'm like very close. I beat with my stepbrother on the Metal Gear Solid Legacy Collection, Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty. Yeah, that is my favorite Metal Gear game. So, yeah, I said it. I know a lot of people are like, oh, riding some girly man. I'm like, oh, well, he can whoop your ass. So, and am I forgetting anything, Dan?
You're forgetting at least 2 on Facebook.
Yes, you forgot Doom and Bust a Move 4.
Oh yeah, Doom. Wait, what? What
Doom
was the other?
and Bust a Move 4.
Bust a Move 4, baby! Love
I got
that
you,
game.
Techno. I got you.
Yeah. I was playing a little bit of Doom on the Xbox One, actual original Xbox, not the Xbox One. I don't own an Xbox One because, well, it's too damn expensive.
Excuses.
And shut up.
Super cheap.
Why don't you have one then?
Because it's not enough for me. I want my other 359.
Shut up.
My 360 sounds more powerful than the Xbox One.
Okay. But, I think...
No, we're not fucking done. Are you?
Oh, we're not?
Okay. So one of them, which I don't care too much about, but Devil May Cry 4. But that's not the important one.
Devil May Cry 4. I love that game.
There's still
that
one
game...
important one that we have not fucking talked about.
Wait a minute, before we...
Oh, yeah!
Wait.
I've been waiting like forever here. You left me hanging. I'm like, you better remember this. It's only like the most important game. Excuses. It's the best game. Techno, please tell us what that is. You know.
I have beaten...
Hell has frozen over.
Dude, that's what KBK said, Comeback Kid, on Facebook. I have beaten Tales of Vesperia.
Yay, explosions everywhere. Well, it took you long enough.
That's all you have to say.
People think that I don't complete games.
You don't.
It just takes him a couple years, okay? Give him the time.
I don't play RPGs, okay?
Skies of Arcadia.
Yeah, you play Skies of Arcadia like every week.
That's like
Yeah, well,
favorites.
still, I don't...
Grandia.
What?
Grandia 2.
Grandia, yeah, whatever.
Fantasy Star. Oh shit.
Damn it.
Face it, Techno, you're an RPG gamer. You're more of an RPG gamer than me. You're hardcore, man.
Techno, I am very proud of you that you finally beat Tales of Vesperia.
I'm proud of you too. My Techno's all grown up now.
I know.
He's probably beating a big RPG.
Now, I have one question for you.
What?
When the hell are you going to beat Tales of Exilia?
So, I don't know.
It's shorter.
Well, you better get on that shit. Come on, dude.
Well, I don't own it.
Oh, damn, we'll get you a copy.
I'll get you 4 copies.
There you go.
Why do I need 4?
Because the game's amazing. You gotta keep 3 of them sealed for when it goes up in value.
I still need to get Ease. Memories of Salcedo.
Why haven't you gotten that?
What?
Why haven't you gotten that?
Because I'm not working.
We've discussed many ways on how to get money.
Yeah, come on, dude. Seriously, what the hell?
No. And don't even say it, Cliva.
What the hell? I've already said it.
No. I know what you're going to say.
Okay, well, what am I gonna say?
Oh, just...
Whore yourself out to
yeah, whore yourself out to, 200 fat chicks.
You know, I love how easy that was to get you to say it and not me.
Yeah, well...
Well, either way, like I said, I'm proud of you, finally beat Tales of Vesperia, even though I beat Sonic 2006 last year. Just for you, man.
Hey, I beat it last year, too.
What, Sonic 06?
No,
Weird.
Vesperia.
Good. You beat it like towards the end of last year. But
Yeah, I beat it towards the beginning of last year. There's like at least a 12 months difference in between that.
No, the real question is when are you gonna 100% Tales of Vesperia?
Yeah, seriously, dude, what the hell?
Every secret achievement and all the achievements.
Oh, that's good, Techno. But I also want to mention, Techno has also played Mortal Kombat 2.
Wait,
Oh yeah, it's arcade machine. Yeah.
Oh!
Oh, you only have the arcade machine, like no big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only have the arcade.
On Christmas Day.
Yeah, I was like, there's nothing like playing Mortal Kombat 2, ripping someone's head off on a Christmas morning.
Okay. Well, I'll go next if you're done, Techno. Are you done?
Yes, I am done, unless I forgot something.
No, I don't
You're
think so.
good.
Well, I've only played 2 games over like the last... How long have we been off? 3 weeks? 4 weeks?
4 weeks.
Yeah, 4 weeks. I've only played 2 games, and the first one is Lunar, the Silver Star Harmony on the PSP. And honestly, I don't really know the reason why I started playing this game. I think it was because Dan, you and I were talking about that Brave Story game on the PSP.
Turn-based
But,
RPGs.
yeah. But yeah, I started playing that one, and this is a really cool RPG. I like the thing that really caught me was the music. Like Luna, her, what's the girl's name? Luna. Her little singing harmony, her little hymn. Very, very catchy, very hypnotic. I love it. Like, I want to download the soundtrack just for her little hum, her little hymn that she sings. I love the music in that game, but like, the game was kind of like somewhat easy. I found it like it wasn't really that difficult. I didn't really die at all.
Not the old school version.
No, why is the old school like really hard?
Well,
Yeah.
here's what's funny is like because I'll talk about in games we were playing. I've been playing the PS1 version of Lunar, which is Lunar Silver Star Story, but I have the guide. I have the strategy guide for the PSP version. So as I was playing through it, I was using the PSP version because this is essentially the same thing. But then I started to discover stuff. For one, you get double the amount of money in every single chest in that game for some reason. So in the old school version, say you get like 10,000 from a chest, in the old school version you got like 5,000. And the last boss, apparently they made much more easier because, my god, that final boss ripped me a new one. It honestly took me a good, maybe, that last boss fight was at least an hour long, just because it was so drawn out in his bullshit spells and all that, but it's significantly hard. And then I was looking at the PSP version, and I'm like, apparently it seems like they made it slightly easier. It seems like some of the boss mechanics, they changed some of their moves, how they work and stuff like that. They did subtle little things to make it much more playable for, I'm assuming, new people to the series. But yeah,
Oh.
PS1 game is definitely, I died multiple times and had to reset multiple times.
Oh, well, that kind of makes me feel like I didn't really accomplish anything. Oh, man, because I beat the PSP version. I'm like, oh, that was a really good game. I'm glad I played that. I'm glad I beat it. And oh, now I'm not really as proud.
You did it. You did it.
Yeah,
It's
I
hard.
did it.
It's super hard.
Yeah, I beat the watered-down version of the game. Yeah, great. Good job.
It's the same story. Like, story-wise, Story-wise,
Sega CD version.
yeah, Sega CD is like the OG one. That one's probably just like the PS1 version.
Yeah,
And different
probably.
one. But
Alright, well, like I said, I beat Lunar, the Silver Story, the super dumbass, easy
the
PSP version. Yeah, the beginner one. The fuck, man, I can't... Really? Oh, that kind of irks me, dude. Now I just want to play the PS1 version to, like, prove my manhood for some reason.
Oh, I felt like I was proving my manhood. I was cussing up a storm with that final boss fight.
Oh. Yeah, cause wow, man, the final boss, he was so ridiculously easy. I thought I was like overpowered.
Oh my god, not on the PS1 version. It's on the PS1 version, the only way to beat him is with Alex. You have to keep using, I think it's called Dragon Protect or whatever. You have to use that because he has a move called Fate Storm, and Fate Storm is an automatic kill of one of your party members, which is super frustrating. So you have to use Dragon Protect or else he's going to wind up killing one of your party members. Or then he has like a laser beam attack, and then he follows that up with like another attack right after it, which can possibly kill all your party members if you're not strong enough. So I had to keep using Dragon Protect, and it became a long, drawn-out battle for at least a good 50 minutes or something. It was like super intense. I was like, my god, when's this boss going to die? It was brutal. Some of the bosses are really brutal in that game.
No, for me they were like extremely easy. I thought I was overpowered.
I wish.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not fun. Thanks for nothing, man.
You're welcome. That way,
Yeah.
I didn't want you to experience what I had to experience, because ball's hard sometimes.
Oh, I don't know. Well, oh well. Like the game is good. I enjoyed it, but now that I know the truth, I'm not really proud that I beat it, I guess. But whatever. But the last game, and this is the one I've been spending most time on, and I got it for Christmas, was Disney Infinity.
Yeah.
And this game is, I guess, probably the best game to compare it to without mentioning Skylanders at all is probably like Little Big Planet. It has a huge community of taking what you find within the main game. Because you could, as you play through these different play sets, you find these little capsules, and each capsule will have like, like a part, like a piece, or a castle piece, or land piece, and you use those to build things in your toy box. And the game's kind of split up in like basically two different fashions. One is you have the play sets, and right now there's 6 play sets, and when you have the starter pack, you get 3. You get The Incredibles, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Monsters Inc. or Monsters University. And then there's 3 more that you can buy. You can get Cars, Toy Story, and The Lone Ranger. And these are the only play sets out right now. And these are kind of like your story adventure modes, and I'll tell you right now, Pirates of the Caribbean, Lone Ranger, and The Incredibles are the best ones. Cars sucks. Monsters University was kind of boring and lame, and what's the other? Oh, Toy Story. That one was playable, but not really that enjoyable. So, yeah. But those are the 3 I enjoyed: Lone Ranger, Pirates, and Incredibles. And basically, like I said, as you play through these adventures, you find these different capsules that unlock different things that you can build in your toy box. And your toy box, this is kind of like you create a level, you upload the level so other people can download your level and try it themselves. So it's a lot like, there's a huge community of just like creating and building and sharing, and there's even like custom levels that you can download directly from Disney. Like they're Disney made levels that you can download yourself and play amongst them. And it's just like a lot of fun. There's like, you can do like racing levels, you can do platforming levels, you can almost create anything that your imagination can think of. Just like Little Big Planet. And I'm going to be comparing this game to Little Big Planet, because even though it plays much like Skylanders, where you put the figure on the little data pad or portal and it scans them into the game, it's really a lot more like Little Big Planet than you could possibly imagine. Like I said, I already have all the figures released right now except for 3 of them. I'm only missing Mickey, Phineas, and Agent P from Phineas and Ferb. Just because they're not out yet. They're not released, which I don't know why they're not released yet. Mickey comes out in February, and Phineas and Agent P come out in April, which I find way too far for them to be released. But, yeah, I think this is a really good game. It's expensive of all hell because, you know, the starter set is like $70, which isn't too bad because you get the game, the portal, and 3 figures for $70. But then each individual figure is about 13, and then if you want additional play sets like the Cars, Toy Story, or Lone Ranger, they're like $34. And what that is, you get 2 figures and the level. So those are kind of expensive, but it's an expensive game. But if you really have like a huge creative mind, I think it's well worth it. Like I just got to the point in the game where I maxed out all my figures. They're all level 15. 15 is the highest level you can get in the game so far. And I maxed out all my guys. I'm now to the point where I'm downloading like a whole bunch of created levels from Disney and from other users or other players. And I'm just having a ball. Like this morning, I was playing a Frozen themed level, with Frozen, the new movie that's in theaters right now, and it was a racetrack. And I think it was called Olaf's Challenge or something. And it was just a racetrack, and I was playing as Elsa, one of the characters from the Frozen movie, and I was in the race car that Vanellope rides in Wreck-It Ralph, and I was racing against the other characters from the Cars 2 movie. So I was racing against Holly, Lightning McQueen, Mater. I'm like, dude, I'm basically playing a game that already has 3 different Disney movies wrapped up in one level. So I'm like, dude, it's a lot of fun. Like, it's kind of hard to explain, but you kind of just have to try it out, and it's kind of hard to try it out since it's such an expensive game, especially if you want to collect all the figures and stuff. But I highly recommend Disney Infinity, and I really hope me and my friend, we're kind of addicted to this game. I swear to God, and we're already discussing oh man, if they make Disney Infinity 2, wouldn't it be awesome if they do a whole princess line? I would love to see Jasmine and Ariel and Belle from Beauty. We're all excited about future possibilities for Disney Infinity 2, and not all the figures are released for Disney Infinity 1, so we're all excited and stuff. Wouldn't it be awesome if they had a DuckTales pack or a Aladdin pack? We're just going crazy thinking of the huge possibilities, because Disney is huge. They could come out with any additional play sets and it would work. And I'm gonna buy them because, like I said, I'm addicted to this game. It's a really good, incredible game. So and I'm going to stop there because I'm just going to keep rambling on how much I like this game. So I recommend this game, but I know it's very, very expensive to get all the figures, and I was lucky enough to get most of those figures for Christmas. So
cool.
Yeah. And it's online. It's online too.
Oh,
so
team deathmatch? Oh, wait.
No, you can. You can play
Sweet.
You can play 4 players online, and the first night I got this game, I kid you not, me and my friend, we kind of had this death match, and I played as Elsa, who has this freeze ability, and my friend was playing Jack Skellington, and his ability is to throw little pumpkin bombs, kind of like the Green Goblin in the Spider-Man comics, and we were just having a blast. We were just throwing ice balls, throwing pumpkin bombs. We were killing each other. I was freezing him, and it was just so much fun. We were just playing around. We weren't really doing anything in the game. We weren't doing any levels. We were just battling, and then my other friend joined in with his character, and he picked Buzz Lightyear, and he had just these little power discs that you can buy to add additional cars or weaponry, and he had this gun that made everyone big, or and he had another gun that made everyone shrink. So he was shooting both of us, and we were growing big in size, growing small in size as we were like killing each other. It was just so much fun, and we weren't even doing anything. We were just like fucking around. So, it like I said, it's a good game, and I'm just rambling on, but it's really, really just fun if you just want to dick around with your friends. So, that's it.
Alright, so I'll go. I've been playing a couple of games. I'm going to run through some of these first ones really quick because I played these quite a while ago and I wound up beating them. But I finished up Ease Memories of Celceta, obviously, on the PS Vita. I didn't have too much left in that. I beat Muramasa Rebirth. I played through that campaign. That was actually the first time I ever beaten the game because I got really close to the end on the Wii version and for some reason I just stopped. So I was actually able to kind of see the end of Muramasa Rebirth. Again, super gorgeous, kind of like beat 'em up on the PS Vita. This was a new one on the Vita, and that's Ragnarok Odyssey. I picked that up. And it's okay. It's nothing great. It's a Monster Hunter style game, but I personally don't really care for it. I think it's super flawed. And the reason I think it's super flawed is because it has some really weird gameplay choices in it. The hit detection feels a little clunky at times. But I think the poorest decision was how they used items in the game. To use items in the game, you have to hit the select button, which on the PS Vita, the select and start button kind of suck because they're like super stiff. But you have to hit the select button to bring up the items, and you have to, triangle, square, circle to press it and use one of the items. But then you have to press select again to close the actual item block. So when you actually want to use items is when you get closed in and there's a bunch of monsters. It's like, oh god, they're beating me up. I got to use a healing potion. But then you're frantically in the heat of battle and trying to jump away or something or attack. You wind up wasting an item because you forgot to close the item menu. And it's like super fucking frustrating because of some kind of stupid gameplay choices. They could have done a much better way to do that. And I hit a point too. I was actually enjoying the game, but I hit a point where it blatantly became super hard to the point where I need other people to beat the game. Like, it's one of those where it's like, it's a multiplayer game. It's meant to, for the most part, be played with other people. And I got through a majority of it, by myself. And then all of a sudden I got to this one boss and I'm like, there's absolutely no way I can beat this boss by myself. So that was kind of frustrating because I think even if you're going to make a game like this, it should be playable just by yourself. The difficulty should be scaled accordingly. But especially since I played not too long ago a game called God's Eater Burst, which is like a Monster Hunter game, but that one's a good example of how to do a Monster Hunter game for a single player kind of experience. I would only recommend it for like diehard Monster Hunter fans. Other than that, it's kind of meh. But the big one, like Cliva, up on the PS1, Lunar's Silver Star Story. And I absolutely love this game. I'm so glad I was finally able to play this game. I was waiting to play it till I got the PlayStation 1 version because I really wanted to play it.
You're welcome.
Yes, Techno. Thank you. Jesus. No, but Techno sent me both Lunar Silver Star Story and Lunar Eternal Blue, which I gotta figure out when I'm gonna play Lunar Eternal Blue. But he sent me both of the box sets for that, which is amazing, but that's awesome. I really appreciate that. But I'm so glad I was finally able to play it, because what I played was a fantastic turn-based RPG. The art direction in the game is fantastic. The music, the soundtrack is amazing. There's some really great music in it. And there's a big emphasis on song in general, especially towards the end, but there's kind of like the songs in the game world kind of have like a certain kind of magic to them and abilities. So, but it's just really beautifully told. It's mostly a story actually about romance. It's mainly about romance, and they actually did it really well. I was surprised because, let's face it, romance in RPGs, super fucking cliche sometimes. Like, a lot of RPGs just really don't have a good idea on how to do romance in it. Like, they'll beat around the bush for so long, or it's like, there'll be two characters who obviously care for each other, but they will go through the whole game and the whole journey together and just never express their feelings or something. Not with Lunar. Lunar is really blatantly obvious that the people that you're with care for certain people and they really, really love them, especially towards the end. It's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful world. It's quite challenging sometimes. Some of the bosses are brutal, especially the final boss, which I mentioned. The final boss is just unholy. It's a long fight, which is really grueling and has you really having to kind of strategize when to do certain things because it could cost you the battle. But You know, at its core, it's a traditional turn-based RPG. You have attacks, and you can use spells and stuff like that, and you can kind of move your units around. But it's a really enjoyable experience. It's a fun turn-based RPG, and you don't see too many great turn-based RPGs anymore, but what it does well, it's a beautiful story about romance and all that. It's really, really fantastic, and there's a lot of animated movies in it. And I laugh, too, because when you beat the game, there's actually like a good 20 to 25 minutes of outtakes, which I never see in games anymore. I'm like, well, whatever happened to outtakes? So after I beat the game, there was like at least, for I shit you not, for like 25 minutes outtakes of all the voice actors messing up and stuff like that. So that was pretty funny because they had all the voice actors doing their lines and all that, and then they were like all messing up and stuff like that. And then I watched the making of this, which is included in that pack, and that was super funny to see because just how old school everything was, like the old school programs they were using, or to see like the voice actors themselves actually acting the scenes out. Like you mentioned the part where Luna sings and all that, they showed like the actual voice actors singing that part, which was super beautiful. And it was cool to see like Game Art Studio because they had like Grandia posters in the background too. I was like, oh yeah, Grandia, that's awesome. But it's a really enjoyable experience. If you're a fan of turn-based RPGs, it's totally worth playing. Really great game.
PS1 version, right?
Yeah, or the Sega CD.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, or if you don't feel like getting too much challenge, you can play the PSP version, which the PSP version has updated visuals and updated music, so it kind of looks a little different. It's a lot more approachable. You get more money. There's a lot of stuff that they made it more approachable, I guess you could say. Yeah, fantastic game. And on the PS1 as well, I started playing this recently, and it's actually a really fun game, but it's called Wild 9. And Wild 9's an interesting game because it's actually made by a developers of Earthworm Jim, and it's actually it's a 2D platformer with kind of 3D visuals. Like it's a 3D kind of visuals, but it's a 2D platformer. You move in like a 2D path. And the main gameplay mechanic to Wild 9 is that you kind of have like this little like whip or something, like kind of like Earthworm Jim in a way, but you have like this like kind of electro whip that you can shoot out, and you can like pick up enemies and like put them into like all these like execution things, like you can put them through grinders and stuff like that, electrocute them. Like it's super violent, but it's like violent in a weird quirky way because everything's kind of cartoony, and the enemies are like, you know, robots or like weird animal designs and stuff like that. And it has like some platforming elements where you gotta do some precision platforming or kind of solve some environmental puzzles and stuff like that. But it's a super enjoyable game, and I totally see some inspiration from Earthworm Jim. So if you're a fan of like some old school kind of platformers, it's a fun one to check out on your PS1. And this was free, or at least episode 1 of this was free, which was cool. But there was a time where Xbox Live was doing like a kind of like holiday countdown thing, and one of the days they gave away the first episode for this for free. So I was like, well, it's free, I'm going to check it out. And I'm glad I did because it kind of has me interested for the rest of the episodes. But I played the first episode of The Wolf Among Us, and this is the new...
Oh, damn.
This is the new Telltale series, which Telltale's known more recently for the Walking Dead games, which they did, and some other games like Jurassic Park and Back to the Future, which they come a long way from then. But The Wolf Among Us is super fucking interesting. I am absolutely in love with the world of it. It's actually based off a comic book series or a visual novel series called Fables, and it's part of the reason why I absolutely fucking love it. Picture adult fairy tales. So theoretically, you play as the big bad wolf. You live with one of the 3 little piggies because the big bad wolf blew his house down. But it's super adult, super mature. You're with like Snow White, and you know, it's just picture adult fairy tales. Everything about it is adult. Like, so you have the big bad wolf who's like, you know, drinking scotch and all that, and then and one of the 3 little piggies is just like smoking and like drinking. It's really adult. It's got a really beautiful art style to it, which is absolutely fantastic. It starts off really interesting. It starts off really violent too. There's a lot of violence in the first episode, but essentially, without spoiling too much, you're kind of trying to solve a murder. I'll leave it at that, but you're trying to figure out a murder because the big bad wolf in this universe is like a detective. So everyone kind of comes to the big bad wolf to kind of solve their issues and stuff like that. And it's a point and click, so if you play like the other Telltale games, you kind of move around a little bit in these areas and kind of solve certain things and talk to people in a particular way. So it's actually super good, and it was really intense too, and I just love the concept of like adult fairy tales, seeing like adult renditions of like Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, and stuff like this is really, really quite interesting. So, and I'm really looking forward to possibly checking out the rest of those episodes because I really like what I played. And the other games are on Steam really quick, and they're actually both little roguelikes. The first one's a game called Legend of Dungeon, and Legend of Dungeon is a fun little kind of like 2D style beat 'em up roguelike game where you play as, it's a roguelike, so everything's randomly generated, your character's randomly generated, and you try and see how far you can get in these randomly generated levels. And for the most part, it feels more like a beat 'em up than anything else, and it's got a really gorgeous kind of like pixel style going for it. And the last one I've been playing that I've kind of gotten back into is Faster Than Light on Steam, and Faster Than Light's really fun. I've really enjoyed it a lot more, but it's a fun roguelike kind of real-time strategy game about kind of space exploration, and you have like a spaceship, and you man the crew, and you have these really strategic battles, and you go around these kind of randomly generated universes, and lots of stuff there. It's really in depth actually, but I really enjoyed it. And that's it.
Nice. So, that's about it, guys. Basically wrap this up.
Yes, I do.
It's our first episode of 2014.
Yeah.
What do you guys say?
I think it was our best episode of 2014. How about that?
You know what? I totally agree with you. Nothing will top this episode until at least 2 weeks from now.
By far the best episode.
By far the best episode of 2014. So, and next week, Techno will beat Tales of Exilia, right?
Sure.
So,
I love it. I love Techno. He doesn't even care. He's like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever.
it's confirmed.
It's confirmed. But
Right.
But yeah, guys, that is episode, what was it, 85? First episode of 2014. So, I want to thank you all for listening to us. We really appreciate it, and hopefully next week next 2 weeks we'll have questions.
Yeah,
That
hopefully.
would be great.
Yeah. Remember, kids, wrap it up.
Okay.
I don't get it. I don't get that, but whatever. Everyone say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
See you
Bye-bye.
back. See you.
Bye.
See you.